I'd like to thank everyone for their support. I am deeply humbled and grateful. It may sound cliche, but I wouldn't even be here without you all. Some of you may already know me, some may not, but this I tell you. The moment my eyes were opened to the realities of what has been happening to our country, I aspired it in my heart that I will make a difference. However, I did not know what I would do and how I would do it. Growing up, I learned, gained knowledge, experienced, built relationships, but with all that, I still didn't know what I wanted to do. Then one day, I realized that I needed to have the right purpose and motive, following on the journey and doing my best to serve my country and to make our Philippines a better place for everyone. I am now here in front of you.
We all live in a country where we strive to obtain the necessities of life. That's why people engage in horrific crimes, such as forging statements, pressuring others, and bribery. Let me tell you something. It begins with us. And we can't deny the fact that there has been or will be a moment in our lives when we'll go to any extent to improve our social standing. Many Filipino citizens may not have enough knowledge about politics, but they are aware about what happens to the money that should be provided to those in need. We still feel that corruption is prevalent in the Philippines, but the society is powerless to stop it. We see people use their powers abusively. We see them using machineries and money to fabricate the news, but they can't hide the fact that the country needs a leader who can make a difference. Over the years, I've witnessed numerous changes in our country, including the extension of roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, and other infrastructures, as well as the prevention of illegal drugs, increased economic growth, military upgrade, and more. However, corruption issues remain, and it still continues to play a role in our Philippine history. On the other hand, I've seen and heard the viewpoints of our citizens, and the only thing that they want to see is change. And we can only achieve it if we start to use our heads. Now let's go to the changes in our climate and global warming, which has affected the whole world. We are known and proud for being a beautiful country of archipelagos. Well, this is true, because have you been to the beaches that we have? The sand, the beauty of the islands that we may not even be able to count? The primary source of the economy, agriculture makes up 40% of where our citizens make a living from. This is where we get our food and our all-time favorite. But these are all being endangered. So if I am to win in the upcoming elections in 2022, my priority is to help restore our Philippines to its true beauty. We only have one country, one planet in which we can survive. There is no replacement if it's entirely depleted. So, if the planet suffers and degrades, we must remember, so do we.
Quite in the news, there are researchers on plans on going to Mars, making it our second home planet. But we are not fully confident about it. Imagine if you start thinking that it is alright not to take care of our planet in the same way we do. In that case, this is making us irresponsible and negligent. If we are here living on the earth, slowly destroying it, what makes us think that it would be far different if we were on Mars? For this very reason, we must take steps to secure the earth from devastation. Fossil fuels and deforestation, two contributing factors to the issue I am addressing. Fossil fuels burn off and expel much carbon dioxide into the air we breathe, hurting both people and the environment. This has been a problem as we know trees are able to resolve this, turning all this carbon dioxide into air we can breathe, oxygen. But where are the trees highly speaking of? They have been cut down, chopped, and utilized as products, whether officially or illegally. These trees have not been replaced. The amount being taken overthrows the amount being planted. It is my job, our job to replant trees and limit the use of fossil fuels. We will slowly replace this with renewable resources found in our nature, such as the wind, water, sunlight, and many more. Trees will once again do what they have been doing. This time, we will be benefiting. Many people continue to litter the streets and waterways, disposing of our rivers and seas. Thus, we will implement programs on proper garbage disposals, teaching individuals how to do it. This is a simple and effective thing to be done, yet many fail to do it and are unaware of its importance. We need a leader who is concerned not only for the people around them, but also the environment. We need someone who will enact change that will only benefit today's generations, but also the future's generations. Who will take action if we do not? If not now, when? Yes, I understand this is not an issue that can be resolved in just a few years. But we are able to start now by minimizing climate change and global warming in the country so that we can have a longer place to live in.
Lastly, there is saying that I'm certain all of you know, an all-time favorite line of our national hero used by many people, ang kabataan ng pag-asa ng bayan. We owe our future to our youth, and they deserve to learn everything they can learn through education. Education is known to be the key to one's success. It was through education that people were able to provide for their families. However, despite all the things we know about education, there are many people who are not given the chance to have this education. There are lots of students being deprived of this right for reasons of their status. Some are not even able to afford an education. Some may have the means but do not have the opportunity. Some live in rural areas far away from school who spend hours traveling to their schools. But please do not misunderstand. Yes, there are those that are very successful today, mostly because of their natural wits and experiences even without having an education. But imagine the opportunities and the doors that may be unlocked if they were given such education. How are we going to equip and train the next generation with the best we've got if we are not going to give them an education that they deserve? If I were elected, there would be a reformation within our educational system. There will be a change within public education and other government schools that would be for the better. I will be focusing on the inputs and outputs of student achievements. In this reformation, all inequities and inequalities will surely be addressed. Education opportunities will be maximized and we will make education for all. I will ensure that education is available for all regardless of your wealth, economic status, gender, or who you are. Schools will not only be open to the privileged but also to the less fortunate. With as much power as I may have, I too will open schools for those in rural areas. Those in the mountains, rivers, islands, and remote places will be given the same privilege. I will ensure that colleges will be open for those who cannot afford it. I will be making programs for those eager and determined to make their dreams and visions become a reality. Standards within schools will be raised in terms of educators. I will ensure that the teachers themselves are thoroughly trained through training and conventions for them. I will give them the right and just compensation they need for doing what is important in their field, molding the minds of our students. I will make certain that they will be teaching, helping our students discover their passion and career paths in life.
We live in a time where information is easily spread. However, it is unavoidable for us to think whether it may be true or not. And I know Filipinos have suffered from this for far too long. Our country's been through a great many ups and downs, and I, the same as you, have this desire for change, for something to be different, for someone that will lead us to the best our country can ever be. That is why I guarantee the transparency of my term. I guarantee that I will be a leader that listens to my people. A leader that considers all aspects and opinions before making decisions. Now, I may have made a lot of promises. I've said many plans that I want to carry out for our country. However, these would all just be aspirations that will not unfold without you. You are what I need. You are what our country needs. We need to be united for this generation and the next, and the ones after that. There is always a light at the end of the road. There is always a sun behind the rain clouds. There is hope for the future of a greater Philippines. But the decision is yours to make.